evening. I'm Yvonne Okwara Matole. Our big story tonight is all about the People's Assembly. The High Court in Kitui issued orders barring county assemblies from passing or implementing National Super Alliance's motions on the formation of the People's Assembly. Justice Lillian Mutende issued the order pending determination of a case filed by a lobby group going by the name Counties Development Group. The hearing of the case is scheduled for January next year. Meanwhile, NASA's head of Secretariat, Norman Magaya, maintains that the initiative will go on, terming the court's decision hopeless. So what becomes of the 9 county assemblies that had previously passed the motion to embrace the People's Assembly? I believe that number might actually be 10, or was meant to be. And what would be the structure of operation of such assemblies should their existence be upheld? That's our discussion. That is our big story tonight.
Intention is to have the biggest People's Assembly ever witnessed in this country, and that's why all mobilization is being put into it, so that a resolution and a decision taken in that assembly will have the full force of the power of the people.
What is the end result when you form these People's Assembly? What do you gain? I mean, in the National Assembly, the Senate, the county assemblies, their deliberations are anchored in the Constitution, and there's a product that comes out of those assemblies.
All right, so let's take a look at the county assemblies that have so far passed the motion for a People's Assembly. That's what you see on your screens: Busia, Homa Bay, Kakamega, Kilifi, Kisumu, Makueni, Migori, Siaya, and Vihiga. So these are the counties that have so far passed this. And we've been talking about the People's Assembly, which counties have done so. But today, we hope to understand the end game of these discussions. And for that, I'm now joined by Onyangolo, who's the Speaker of the Kisumu County Assembly, which is one of those 9 counties that have embraced the idea of the People's Assembly. Also tonight on the show, Pokot South Member of Parliament David Pokosing is also on the program. Gentlemen, thank you for your time on the big story tonight. Naturally, would like to begin with you, Onyangolo. The People's Assembly motions have been passed. We'll get to the court order in a minute. But what is the People's Assembly all about? Why its formation? What will it discuss? What is the main aim?
Thank you so much, Yvonne. The People's Assembly means no more than an assembly of the people. It is an assembly formed by the people of Kenya to ensure that their wishes, desires, and dreams as a people that have been subverted by a few individuals is brought on main course. When I say that, most people would want to know how then or where do you find your strength in the Constitution to establish the People's Assembly? And I would like our listeners to pay attention to this. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides for the sovereignty of the people as the zenith of power, that we are a multi-party democratic state. Democracy means a government of the people, for the people, by the people, in its simplest definition. And under that constitution, the people may express themselves directly or through their elected representatives. When they do it through their elected representatives, they elect members to the county government, the county assemblies, and to the National Assembly and the Senate. When they fail to do that, or when they do not do that, or when they want to retrieve or countermand their power from the delegates, then it means they want to exercise that power directly, and they can only do that through the People's Assembly. The question is, where does the Constitution provide for the People's Assembly? And my answer is this. The Constitution, for any first-year, first-semester student of law knows, is not the only source of law. It is one of the many sources of law. So that when it provides a general framework, 1, we implement them through acts of parliament. And when we cannot find an act of parliament that provides a procedure, then we go to other sources of law. In this case, we have sought reliance on customs, usages, and international sources of law, which provides, therefore, that you do a comparative analysis of what has happened elsewhere. So that where the people have sought to express themselves directly and a provision is not made through an act of parliament or a local legislation, then a people's assembly have always been constituted to bring the people back to the mainstream legal regime that they have left.
Okay. All right. I think the legal explanation, before I come to you, David, the legal explanation, at least from your point of view, is understood. But what is it that the people that you say who draw their mandate directly, what is it they're going to say that or do in these people's assembly that they cannot do in the county assembly, in the National Assembly, and in the Senate?
Thank you. What these people are saying is that the state has been captured, that the state is now captured under the institutions and organizations established to see the governance of the state can no longer be conveyors of the general will of the people of Kenya. So the people have countermanded their right with the ultimate objective to retrieve their sovereign will by establishing or re-establishing institutions that will no longer be victims of state capture. What do I mean? So that IEBC can be truly constituted that is not controlled by a couple of individuals or a few individuals who have captured the state. So that parliament cannot be a product of flawed elections. So that our police can act for the benefit of the people of Kenya and not for the benefit of the few individuals who have captured the state. So when we assemble as the people, and when we assemble at the National Assembly of People, we are coming back to retrieve our power and re-establish the institutions of the state.
All right. David?
You know, Yvonne, I would say that People's Assembly is a waste of time.
Why?
Number two,
why is it a waste of time?
Because it's neither here or there. Number two, it is, in my view, NASA have taken to manage losses, you know, because they lost an election. On 8th, they lost it again further on 26th. And therefore, you know, there are many ways of people managing losses or managing success, you know. Somebody can manage success by, if you score a goal, you know, you celebrate and you jump and, you know, you do that. When you lose something, you cry. This is exactly how NASA is trying to cry. Actually, they are lying to the people. And in fact, my friend, I respect him a lot. And we used to be together in another functions or other jurisdictions.
In another party, you mean? You were both members of the same party. It's all right to say that.
He was my SG. I was his boss in the neck. But then, I will say that later.
How could
what's
you be
happening?
A boss to the SG?
He's accepted. Of course, I'm the one who appointed him. So
how?
I'm his boss.
Okay, gentlemen,
gentlemen,
can we focus on the issue at hand?
He used to work for us, but he's a good friend of mine. But what I'm saying is that he has already accepted. This thing is not based in law. That's what I'm saying. It's a waste of time. Wakili has accepted that, you know, if it's not provided for by the Constitution, you look at other jurisdiction or other sources. That is to tell you, Yvonne, this thing is not based in law. And I'll tell you, I'll take you to this Article 1 of the Constitution, which they want to rely on, which is actually a lie, that people exercise their sovereignty either directly or indirectly. But it qualifies how people exercise that sovereignty. It says through elected representatives. And it says it's exercised at national level and county level. National level is parliament. County level is county assemblies. Nothing else, Madam Yvonne and the people of Kenya. This is a waste of time. Number two, if you go to Article 94, sub-Article 5 of the Constitution, it says no other person or institution that has power to make anything with the power of law. It's only parliament at national level and county assemblies where my brother is a speaker. They are lying to the people. They lied to the people that the election is not going to be there on 26th. Election happened. In my view, this is a waste of time. And in fact, when it comes to the full of time, these guys who are promoting this thing called People's Assembly, they will be shocked. Because practically, I've given you the law. This thing is not provided for in any law within our jurisdictions that we have in Kenya, whether the Constitution or any act of parliament. That is number one. Number two, let us even move it further. After establishing of those assemblies, who is administering them? So what are they going to resolve? Resolve what? And to who?
Okay.
And where will they get power
and
source?
And that is a good question
It's a waste
for
of
you,
time. They are like
Onyango,
the
in terms
people.
of the administration and the structure. And I know when I asked you about, the mandate, and you mentioned IEBC and the National Police Service. So just explain to us that again. So it is what? To take a look at reviewing our electoral systems, reviewing the police service. Like, what are those tangibles that even those that might think they want to support this would then understand the end game after the People's Assembly? What would be the outcome?
Before I come to that, let me put my brother to perspective. First, he's lying to our viewers that have said that this People's Assembly is not based on law.
You see the other laws.
I kept quiet as he spoke. Can you protect me?
But then I have also to correct. I cannot be.
No.
I cannot be ambushed.
Allow me to talk. I kept quiet.
No, we will come to you. Okay. You'll have your moment for it.
I have stated to him, and he has quoted elaborately, that the people can express their will either directly or indirectly. The Constitution goes ahead to say how they do it indirectly, but the Constitution is silent on how you do it directly, and therefore you resort to other sources of law, and that is provided for under our regime, if you didn't know. Number two, he has lied to our people that NASA lost the elections. Yvonne, can you lose a competition that you have not participated in? We never participated in October, so we cannot lose. So please be sincere to your viewers and take them to the true path if we want to debate, if you are a true patriot of this country. Coming to the issues that you have said, remember, power rests with the people. And should the people therefore resolve? You remember, when they constantly refer to the National Assembly and the County Assembly, they forget that we have not resorted to the County Assembly because they are the ones that must establish the People's National Assembly. Simply because this is an organized institution of the state, and where they are not existing or where we are not controlling them, citizens are still at liberty to come in form of organized groups to participate in the People's Assembly. And this is not happening in Kenya alone. It has happened. It happened in 1789 in France.
Onyango, we'll get to the history in just a moment.
So,
the administration and the structure of the People's Assembly.
Now, when the people assemble, they are going to establish the structures. They are going to probably establish themselves into committees and say, this so-and-so, so-and-so, you'll be in charge of the committee you'll be in the committee in charge of the following areas. So-and-so, you'll be in charge of the committee dealing with the following areas. So remember the Bomas of Kenya, how it happened? The People's Assembly is sovereign. It will draw its own rules, establish its own structures, establish its committees, and come with the resolutions, which the people will therefore ratify as the general will of the people of Kenya.
So let me ask this again, because in counties such as Kisumu, where you are the Speaker of the County Assembly, where you enjoy the majority, why not just do this at the already existing structures of the County Assembly? Form the committees within the County Assembly, discuss and pass the resolutions that you want to. Why would you then have a separate one? Because it's not like there's state capture in Kisumu.
Can I answer you? Yeah. Because so if we do it for Kisumu. We are talking for Kenya. We are not talking for Kisumu. The Kenya as a country is not made up of 42 or 43 or even 10 counties. It's made up of the 47 counties. That is why we want all the members from the different counties to assemble in whatever format they have established fit and deliberate on state capture of the national institutions.
Okay. State capture? National institutions?
Nothing like that. In fact, I think even Speaker is shooting himself on the foot.
How so?
Because it's a state. If you look at the Constitution, his definition, what is he? So by trying to say that,
how can I be a state?
So are you saying he's a
how
state
can I be a
officer?
state?
You see, look at the Constitution. What does it define all of us? We are state officers. We work for the state.
That is
and the state, and what is forgetting?
I thought you represent the people.
Yes.
Or do you work for the state? I thought you speak for the people rather than for the state.
Yes, but if you look at our Constitution, the definition of state officers, right, and public officers, all of us are state officers, right? If you look at the Constitution, in fact, we wanted to amend, because...
but this gets confusing. When it comes to salary increments, I'm sure you have a different definition.
That is, I'm not going to say it's salary, but there was an amendment proposed that particular time to say, are we really state officers? elected members, including him.
Yeah.
Are we state officers, or we remove ourselves from the constitution definition of state officers? And we found that if we were to remove ourselves as state officers from the constitution, we will change the
So what you're saying is, as Speaker of County Assembly, he is a state officer, and he's a member of the state that you were, that he's calling state capture?
Exactly. Now he's shooting himself on the foot by saying
But answer this question.
Yes.
State capture. Is that a situation that exists in this country? Because that is what...
First, does he understand what state capture is?
Yes, I do.
Then explain to people.
I do. That's why I'm explaining.
Yes.
Although I'm now explaining, so don't give me your words, because I kept quiet. What they have, this is management of losses, Yvonne, if you ask me. In fact, this is a discussion that in my view, it is academic discussion. Because one thing that people have not answered that you asked, this called People's Assembly, what is it? It's amorphous. It doesn't have a structure. It doesn't have, what do you mean by committees? Committees to do what and where? And yet, he knows very well as a legal counsel or as somebody with law background that no institution shall make anything with the effect of law apart from Parliament and county assemblies. It is in the Constitution. So what they are trying to do, in fact, my interpretation is that when the national leadership said they have something to tell Kenyans, to shock Kenya, they will announce something. Because they didn't have anything, they just said, let's go for these assemblies. So in fact, and the truth is, I will say this, and time will come and prove us, Okwara, right or wrong. This is a waste of time.
All right, let me ask you this, though. Nothing prevents people of like-minded ideas from coming together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So a group of us can come together, call it People's Assembly or whatever it is you want to call it. You can even call it the amorphous organization of Kenyans or whatever.
Yes.
But legally, in law, there's freedom of assembly.
Yes.
People of like minds and ideas.
Absolutely.
So how would it then be that the People's Assembly is illegal? Because people have a right to meet. I mean, Bunge la Mwananchi does it in the streets all the time.
And I've said as much.
Yeah.
Nobody.
So why would that worry you, though?
I would say it's not even worrying me. I'm only saying the truth. Because 1 minute down the line, or 2 days down the line, they have passed the motion. So what next? What next? People will be waiting for what? So that what happens? So when people coalesce as freedom of association, they can actually coalesce as politicians. Okay. What are they looking for?
Good question.
If for example, what he said, and let me just answer that. He said, oh, we are looking at the Electoral Commission. It is in the Constitution. How to remove and put in Electoral Commission is in this Constitution. What happens, Yvonne, if they are not comfortable? And in fact, I will ask them. Parliament is there. If they are not comfortable with the current Electoral Commission, we swear in the President on 28th. We come together in Parliament. They can propose also as individuals and say, look, you know what, we need to amend this Constitution so that the way we identify Electoral Commission should not be as this. They propose an amendment. And then, first of all, we amend the law. And then now we effect what they're saying. Otherwise, what will they be doing? How do you start that? So what next? They have passed. And they have now passed it.
That's a good question.
They have passed it. So what next?
All right.
I hope it's not a monologue. First and foremost, let us push our argument to its logical conclusion. I presented to you that my colleague probably do not understand the meaning of the word state capture. You asked him to try and explain it. He has gone round and round and round without telling you what state capture is. So in a sense, we are debating about something to which one of us do not appreciate or understand. Secondly, he brings something that is totally irrelevant for the purposes of this debate, that Onyango Law is a state officer. I didn't say I have been captured. And it is not in doubt that Onyango Law and my brother Kosing is a state officer. The issue is state capture. And what is a state capture? A state capture is a situation where institutions of governance have been held hostage by a few individuals or a couple of people who control the states, and its intended outcomes only serve the interests of those people who have held it hostage.
Okay, so what is the intended outcome of the People's Assembly?
The intended outcome is therefore, if you have been held hostage, Yvonne, what we do is to seek how we can free you from your captors. So the intended outcome of the People's Assembly is to ensure that we free our institutions and organizations that are meant to be state institutions from the capture of the few individuals or cabal of people who have held our state captives. And when I used the police and IEBC, I only used those as examples. For instance, what does it make of you when, for instance, they tell us, let us go to Parliament and amend these laws?
Yeah.
Yet the members of Parliament themselves have also been a product of that capture, meaning they do not express the general will of the people of Kenya.
However, the members of
not
Parliament that have been elected on a NASA ticket, the coalition rather, which is, a conglomeration of, a number of parties, are present in the National Assembly. Do you not believe that they can push for this legislation?
I want to tell you something. If you have your juice to drink it and we mix it with poison, would you still take it? What I'm trying to tell you is that you know this idea of the server not being opened, and you know this idea of MPs, senators, governors, some being vifaranga via computer. Now you have mixed them with those who won and those who did not win, and you want them to sit, deliberate the affair of the state, when a majority of them have been the product of the computer-generated leadership. Are we going to get the general will of the people of Kenya? That is what we are telling our colleagues. That being the case, therefore, we, the people of Kenya, countermand our delegated authority to you, and therefore we are assembling to free our institutions from the capture.
No.
David?
You see, I think I'll go back to what I said earlier, that this is just management of frustrations. What do we do now?
Why not allow them to manage their frustrations?
Nobody has said anything.
They can meet and vent.
They can do whatever. Who has done anything?
You have gone to court.
Who? We didn't go to court. Nobody has. If that is
Are you saying that he is behind the county development group? Is that what you're saying?
We are not. That's what. And he's insinuating a wrong thing to me, and that is also management of frustration as well. Again, coming back to here, what I'm trying to say is this: what Olua said, that these guys are a product of a computer, right? I think he should apologize, right? And he should respect us as leaders. People elected me, right? And I have that authority under Article 95.
And he's a kifaranga of the same computer.
Number two, he was elected by MCAs. By MCAs, which he's abusing them. He's abusing them on a national television. And I hope the MCAs of Kisumu are listening. Yes. That their speaker is saying they are computer generated. And their speaker is abusing them so that they can recall him immediately. When he goes back, he's impeached.
Let him finish, then I respond.
Because
gentlemen,
what is happening?
We're straying away from the main conversation, which is the People's Assembly. Please.
Let him not think of getting a sympathy from the people who are not with us here. The people of Kisumu are watching. And remember the story I've told you.
And they know.
Just a moment, Bwana Kosing. If I have mixed your juice with poison, would you still take it? I didn't mean everybody was a vifaranga via computer, but we know the vifaranga via computer, and when you mention it, they get agitated. You shall know them by their fruits.
So Honorable David Kosing is the Pokot South MP, and Onyango is the Speaker of the Kisumu County Assembly. Stay with me. This is the big story. We are continuing to discuss the People's Assembly that has been passed by 9 counties so far, but there is a court injunction in Kitui stopping the motions on the formation or implementation of the same in further counties. So we will speak more about this, and I do believe we will get to hear from Chief Strategist at NASA, David D, a little bit more on this, and then we will come back with more of our discussion. See you after the break.